Compiled and presented by Flixada. In this video, we are going to talk about Tata Consultancy Services. Tata Consultancy Services Limited and its subsidiaries provide IT services, consulting and business solutions and have been partnering with many of the world's largest businesses in their transformation journeys for the last 50 years. The group offers a consulting-led, cognitive-powered, integrated portfolio of IT, business and engineering services and solutions. Tata Consultancy Services has a market capitalization of 12.025 trillion at the time of making this video. Its stock price made an all-time high of Rs 3,176 on the 11th of January 2021. In past 5 years, the stock price made a low of Rs 1,050 on the 11th of November 2016. This stock gave compounded annual growth of 44% over past 1 year, 31% over past 3 years, and 22% over past 5 years. In past 12 months, Tata Consultancy Services had a revenue of Rs 1.6 trillion and a gross profit of Rs 687.0 billion. As compared to previous fiscal year, in the past 12 months, it has seen a revenue growth of 2.2%. On the 31st of March 2020, Tata Consultancy Services reported a total revenue of Rs 1.6 trillion and has seen a revenue growth of 7.2% from the previous year. The company reported an EBITDA of Rs 467.0 billion. Now let us look at some key financial ratios to gauge how good or bad this stock is. Its beta value, which is a measure of volatility of stock, is 0.68. This means the stock moves with less volatility than the market. High beta stocks are supposed to be riskier but provide higher return potential. Low beta stocks pose less risk but also lower returns. Based on the last 12 months, the price-to-earnings ratio is 39.05. The price-to-earnings ratio indicates whether the stock is undervalued or overvalued. Based on the last 12 months, the earnings per share value is 83.24. Now, we will compare some key financial ratios with the top 1000 NSE stocks. For this purpose, we divide the distribution of these key indicators into 4 parts or quartiles. Quartile region is obtained by dividing all the stocks in 4 buckets, so that each bucket contains same number of stocks. As compared to top 1000 stocks in NSE, Tata Consultancy Services has its beta value in the first quartile. This means the stock exhibits very low volatility. Tata Consultancy Services has earnings per share of 83.24, which is higher than 93% of top 1000 NSE stocks. The earnings per share value is very good. Earnings per share is a company's net profit divided by the number of outstanding shares. This is a widely used metric to estimate corporate value. The diluted EPS, compared to similar companies from the same sector, is now shown on the screen. Tata Consultancy Services has price-to-earnings ratio of 39.05, which is higher than 51% of top 1000 NSE stocks. The price-to-earnings ratio is in the third quartile. This means the company stock may be overvalued. A high price-to-earnings ratio may also mean that investors are expecting high growth rates in the future. Price-to-earnings ratio measures its current share price relative to its per-share earnings. The trailing 12-month price-to-earnings ratio, compared to similar companies from the same sector, is now shown on the screen. Tata Consultancy Services has price-to-book value ratio of 14.81, which is higher than 92% of top 1000 NSE stocks. The price-to-book value ratio is in the fourth quartile. This means the stock may be hyped. The price-to-book ratio compares a company's market value to its book value. Book value is net assets of the company. This ratio should be looked at in conjunction with return on equity ratio. A low return on equity combined with high price-to-book ratio means stock is overvalued. The price-to-book value ratio from the most recent quarter, compared to similar companies from the same sector, is now shown on the screen. Tata Consultancy Services has return on equity value of 38.19%, which is higher than 88% of top 1000 NSE stocks. The return on equity for this stock is in the fourth quartile, which is very good. The return on equity is calculated by taking company's net earnings after taxes, subtracting preferred dividends, and dividing by the total equity. The return on equity in the trailing 12 months, compared to similar companies from the same sector, is now shown on the screen. Tata Consultancy Services has debt-to-equity ratio of 9.88, which is higher than 25% of top 1000 NSE stocks. The debt-to-equity ratio for this stock is in the second quartile, which is good. A debt-to-equity ratio is company's total liabilities divided by shareholders' equity, and lower value of this ratio is preferred. This ratio is a measure of the degree to which a company is financing its operations through debt versus wholly owned funds. A higher value of this ratio tends to indicate higher risk to the investors. The debt-to-equity ratio from the most recent quarter, compared to similar companies from the same sector, is now shown on the screen. Tata Consultancy Services has operating cash flow of 385.5 billion in the past 12 months, which is higher than 92% of top 1000 NSE stocks. The operating cash flow for this stock is in the fourth quartile, which is very good. The operating cash flow in past 12 months, compared to similar companies from the same sector, is now shown on the screen. Tata Consultancy Services has levered free cash flow of 357.6 billion in the past 12 months, which is higher than 82% of top 1000 NSE stocks. The levered free cash flow for this stock is in the fourth quartile, which is very good. The levered free cash flow in past 12 months, compared to similar companies from the same sector, is now shown on the screen. Tata Consultancy Services has payout ratio of 48.05%, which is higher than 79% of top 1000 NSE stocks. The payout ratio of this stock is in the fourth quartile, which is very good. The dividend payout ratio provides an indication of how much money a company is returning to shareholders versus how much it is keeping on hand to reinvest in growth, pay off debt, or add to cash reserves. The dividend payout ratio, compared to similar companies from the same sector, is now shown on the screen. The company reported an EBITDA of Rs 467.0 billion in year 2020, which is 7% more than the EBITDA from the previous year. The company showcased earnings per share of 86.2 in year 2020, which is 4% more than the APEs from the previous year. Tata Consultancy Services has shown year-on-year decrease in stockholders' equity by -5.9% in year 2020. This stock showed year-on-year increase in stockholders' equity by 5.1% in year 2019. This stock showed year-on-year decrease in stockholders' equity by -1.3% in year 2018. Tata Consultancy Services has free cash flow of Rs 357.6 billion in the past 12 months. The free cash flow for the year 2020 was Rs 291.2 billion. Here you can see statistics related to number of shares. 72.06% of shares are held by insiders. 16.11% of shares are held by institutions. Tata Consultancy Services is at position second in terms of market capitalization among the NIFTY 50 stocks. Tata Consultancy Services is at position 7th in terms of annual revenue among the NIFTY 50 stocks. Tata Consultancy Services is at position 1st in terms of free cash flow among the NIFTY 50 stocks. Here, we presented a very simplified assessment of fundamental indicators. We categorized the performance on each indicator by comparing it with top 1000 NSE stocks. On your side, go thoroughly through the financial data before deciding on investing in this stock. Thanks for watching. Hope you hit the like button on this video and share it with your friends. And do not forget to subscribe this channel.